Hi, this is Robin the Generous Stitcher. I'm kind of keeping an eye on Willow. She's having her dinner. You might be able to hear her crunching her kibble. I don't. Now I know where Max gets it from. So what happened? What I did not know this. Oh, cool. Of course, you're going to come over here. You left all that half-eaten kibble on the table. She's going to give a good stretch. Yeah. Don't press on that, please, honey. It'll go on the floor. So I've got cross-stitch stuff stacked up that she's got to give a good sniff. And she's given the camera a good sniff. And so, yeah, Willow, I don't know if you, I don't think you can get through there. I kind of left it so that you could, you can sit right there, that's fine. She might pop up, but she's doing a little bread loaf right in front of the camera. So, all right, so, yes, you're such a good kitty. Yes, you're such a good girl. So, I was going to film this, like, I was thinking I was filming this like, oh, like on the 9th or the, oops, sorry, Willow. Let's see, go to the calendar. Yeah, I thought I was gonna film this on the 9th. The 9th is one of my scheduled film days of September, and that's the week of PNWSS, and I kind of had wanted to do a PNWSS preview video, and so this is kind of going to be a preview in some ways, and but I'm going to hold back a few things because there's things that are sort of surprises, and like, yeah, I mean, I bought some stuff for table gifts tonight. So what I'm going to do is show my whips, and then go into the video I filmed this weekend because we had a Salem Area Stitchers retreat. I wanted to show that, you know, and maybe this order will be all jumbled. And then I also want to show the last of the curated cross stitch collection that I've received in August, which isn't very much, and then I'll do a PNWSS preview. And of course, a kitty video at the end. So I almost had a follow-up video to that video. And I was watching Helen D, East Coast Crafter today, and there was all these like sort of crash bangs in the background, and she's like, I think her cat's Emmy. Emmy was chasing her tail. And I thought, great, that's on point. So anyway, Emmy had lots of fun, and I had lots of fun watching the video. So okay, there, Willow's bored. So all right, so whips, let's do that first. Yeah, let's see, do I want to show the, did I pull that up? Oops, the whip is falling off the back of the table. I gotta stand up so I can reach it. All right. Whew. I was afraid that was gonna slide, and then it kind of got destabilized. So, okay. So I have been putting a little time in on the 2 bibs that I'm doing for baby gifts that are due in like October, November, and one of which I started, which was putting elements of night terrarium on a bib. So I call this Night Bib, and it's a teal green from Million of Stitches, I think is the vendor. They're Canadian, and I've bought some wonderful bibs from them. And so I decided to put elements more on either edge, so then babies as they dribble might be dribbling down the center. So So I got one of the flowers. I'm not going to put all the flowers in because there's just not the height and the room on this bib. And the little house. And then I started doing like the pink. I did this stalk of this mushroom, or a good chunk of it. And then I started doing the pink, which the pink, it rims this mushroom. And then this, actually the cap of the mushroom for this one is pink. So this lovely pink, and which is like a 3800 pink, I think. No, is it? Be at 60. It's 601. So DMC. All this is DMC, and so I've been working on that at lunch and sometimes at night when I'm watching TV. It's not too awfully hard, and it's 14 count Aida, and it's, 3 strands of floss, which is what I normally do for bibs. And I'm gonna stick this right there because the cats are not hanging out. So they have been hanging out and wanting to be near me. The part where I talk about the Salem Area Stitcher Retreat, I talk about some dental issues that I'm having, and I haven't lost the tooth yet. That's on Friday. Today is Tuesday. And I think the cats can feel that I'm nervous about it or upset about it because they have not left my side. They have been, hanging out in the office when I work. The Willow especially, like, I've been having meetings and she's like, no, you're gonna hold me while we have this meeting. So everybody loves Willow. I mean, we're remote work, and so people they have their pets too, but everybody loves Willow. But anyway, one of the things I got done on Saturday during our Salem Area Stitcher retreat was I got to work on Lindy Stitch's Japanese Bantam, which is right here, and it is on Unmellow Yellow, which is a Mystic fabric. It was the first Mystic fabric of the year this year, which came out in February, and it was kind of scary. So I've put in some more of the feathers that are not black, and I put in this is, I don't know if that's like an oak leaf, maybe. And then there's like little things like, and so this is like Cadet, which is, I think it's a Weeks Dye Works, kind of a turquoise, and that's the same right there. So anyway, I will get back to the black, but the black is sometimes hard to count and stitch. And and then the other thing is we had cake at this retreat, and it was delicious, but when someone handed me the cake plate, something like went onto the fabric, and I have no idea how that happened or what happened, but this tiny, tiny, tiny piece of chocolate went onto the fabric. And so I immediately stopped working on the piece, put it away, and then the next day I took a Q-tip with some Dawn dishwashing detergent, and I wet the Q-tip so it had a lot of soap on it, but it was not like the blue globby stuff that was gonna was gonna get more stuff on the fabric. And cold water, and then I just sort of dabbed that, and it immediately came off. So because unfortunately the little chocolate piece fell like right between these two feathers, so it was not a stitched area, and so I was a little perturbed this weekend, like, I hope I can get it out. So Sunday, Sunday I went to work with my friend Lisa, who's teaching me finishing because she really gets into finishing, and I'm starting to enjoy some of it. I certainly know how to do more. The first thing we I'm getting off topic. I'm gonna get back to that. So anyway, that's where I've been with this whip, and just got so much to talk about. So, all right, I got 2 more whips, or yeah, 2 more whips, and then maybe a sneak peek of some stuff that we've been finishing. So I didn't even remember that I worked on this whip, but I had worked on it the day after I did that bonus, the bonus video on the 17th of August. And so I eventually have filled in all the window panes on this house. And I believe the roof is as big as it's gonna be. I just have to, I have not done I've done half crosses at the top of the roof, and I need to finish the roof. But I also need to work on the foundation, because there's a foundation and stairs and all sorts of stuff in other variegated flosses. And then I can get into the foliage and acorns and the girl figure. So anyway, this is Fox and Rabbit, Gathering of Acorns, or Acorn Gathering. I don't have my pattern next to me. And it was an exclusive for our Gathering of Acorns mini retreat at Acorns and Threads in 2024. And then this pattern came out as a release for the 2025 Nashville release. So it is available. This is on Fox and Rabbit Up in the Attic. I think this is 18 count Ada. So not much work on that, but like I say, I only worked on it one night watching TV. And then final whip here. This was also my start for, I think is it my only start for this month? Oh, I haven't even put starts down. So yeah, night bib I started last month, I believe. Yes, I did. So this is my start for August, which is the, what am I calling it? I'm calling it the Mount Hood bib. And so this is on a gray Ada for Million of Stitches. Again, there's not much space to stitch. It's about 30 plus, you made 32 stitches in height, and it's 120 or 150 stitches across. It's a lot of stuff to stitch on. It's just, you have to have short things. And so this is the base of Mount Hood, which is going to go in this corner. And then over in this corner are going to be the figures. And I'm going to do, I need to chart a snow border. And then I'm going to, where is it? I'm probably put my finger on it. I'm also going to do this toboggan sled with these 3 figures. I've floss tossed some different more bright colors for snowwear. And anyway, the Mount Hood is from Forest Home by the Blue Flower. And then my intention, and I'm not sure how this is going to work exactly, but my intention was to stitch this this fir tree, and between the branches you can see the toboggan sled with the 3 figures going down a slope. So that's going to go on the opposite side, and then the snow border will be kind of to the edge of one of the 2 areas. So a very old pattern from, try to see if it's on here, yeah, 1998, the year I started stitching, and a very new pattern. This Forest Home was the exclusive when Jeanette McGowan, the Blue Flower, and gosh, who else? Oh, Stephanie Webb, Lindy Stitches were the two guest designers for PNWSS in 2022. And I had signed up to attend the Zoom for 2022, and I didn't get off the wait list. So unfortunately, I had to get this later. And it was good because I was like, I need to do something that's really. Last year I had some parents that says, well, I really like nature, so make a bib that's got some nature on it. And then my friends who had been to PNWSS 2022 were like, you should get to Forest Home. So I did. And this is the second time I've used it. I have yet to stitch it for myself, although I may have a fabric for it now. I'm not sure. I may have two fabrics that I could use to stitch this whole thing. So it's not kitted up, although I do have all the specialty flosses for it. Yeah, but I didn't have a fabric picked out until maybe recently. So, all right, so that is this bib, and the Mount Hood's only two colors, and I actually did a color conversion because this blue color is DMC. It's my blended DMC conversion for Glacial Melt, which was I think a week's dye work. I've got it right here. Yep, it's a week's. So it's Glacial Melt. But Glacial Melt, as lovely as the color is not color fast, unlike DMC, or most DMCs. So, so because it's a bib and it's going to be, spit on, barfed on, food things, like my cats just left crumbs of their food on the counter, on the table. Yeah, so it needs to be washable. And so that is whips. What I've been doing for finishing, which has been really fun to spend time with my friend Lisa, and she is just really into the finishing. I'm not so much, but I'm having fun. I'm learning stuff. There are definitely things that I'll be able to possibly do at home to prepare a piece and then give it off to a finisher, and maybe they'll have less to do. But one of those things is preparing a wooden backing for PNWSS. So that's one thing. Painting, varnishing. I had sandpapered some of it. That was kind of a waste of my time, because Lisa was like, oh, you should just use some varnish. Let's put varnish on it. And then we painted it and everything was fine. Because these are laser cut, they have a burned edge. And so my friend Tammy from Woodland Stitching Studio did this because she's got 2 or 3 of these, of this series. This is Feathered Friends, which is a collaboration between a bunch of different designers, like maybe 24 or more designers collaborated to make a monthly series of birds. And so they go in the birdhouse. So anyway, so we've varnished, we've painted, we've sort of put on second or third coats. Have put a good chunk of it together, and it's not been particularly easy. So, but Lisa has tools, and we've been using like her rubber mallet, which Tammy told me I had to use a hammer on this. So, oh, and this is from Paisley and Polka Dots, and they still have it. Paisleys and Polka Dots. So, and so anyway, I have a, gosh, and I didn't even start it. I have homework. I need to put a, gosh, I can't remember what Lisa called this. It's not a back stitch, but it's basically like a running stitch or something that you put around something and to hold the fabric together. And so then I'm gonna, Tammy had fringed her little label part for the one she did for herself. And I thought, well, that's, looks easy, quick and easy. And so I need to do my little stitch around, and then I can fringe it. And then the other stuff is at Lisa's house, but this is the fabric that we're gonna put behind the pattern, and the pattern has a lot of blue and green, variegated blue, and it's had some water, so this was a great choice that my friend Lisa had just found in a remnant bin at a fabric store near her house, like a year or two ago. It was like, I like this fabric, I have no idea what to use it for. So when she saw what I was doing, she's like, oh, I have the fabric. So, all right, so that's some finishing previews for Pinwhist. And there's another thing I'm taking to Pinwhist that's already been finished by Acorns and Threads Finisher that I stitched, she finished for me, and I have shown it on this channel, but I'm not going to show it again until after we give it to the person who's getting it. So, all right, so a little bit of haul. Let me see what time it is. Okay, so so at the beginning of August, end of July, I was like, I better buy some stuff because tariffs are coming. And so I got Cottage Garden Threads, their Chaos series. And I didn't show this. I got it a couple weeks ago, or at least 10 days ago. And I'm getting out the Chaos stuff because really sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. So, oh, here it is. Oh, that's Chaos. Okay, the namesake. All right, and so while I was at Cottage Garden Threads, I decided to get the floss pack for Pigeon Puddle, Willow's favorite pattern, and I think it has a DMC, but there's also this Cottage Garden Thread conversion, and so Chaos. This is like heavily variegated, vibrant, crazy colors. I love them. This is Chaos. This is Riot, which I don't know if the light's hitting that so well. Oh. This is Graffiti. This is Glitter Bomb, which if you've never seen a YouTube glitter bomb that's, getting a porch pirate, you gotta watch those. And Neon Nights, Confetti, Fireworks, Mayhem, which I think is gorgeous. Gosh, I want to get more of that one. It looks like a dress that I just put in my Goodwill sack. It's funny because when I was first married, I got that dress and I wore it a bunch, but now when I put it on, it just doesn't fit right. And it's not that I've gained stuff, it seems like I've shrunk, which I know I've lost an inch. So Hot Mess, which I hope I'm not, and Fabulous, which I never say that I'm fabulous, but other people might. So that's Cottage Gardens threads, and this is going to be thrilling to make sure that the cats do not mess with it in the next few minutes while I finish this up. And then I showed you the Evertotes Fabric Temptation, or actually I will, the video that's right after this segment. But I decided, a friend of mine had gone to Hobby House and had bought Tabby Cat Lollybroch. And so I decided I had to get that myself. And oh, this little sack, it folded up on itself. I was like, okay, I'm taking this, and it's crinkling, and I don't, yeah, so this is Lollybroch. Oh, yes. So my friend had a bit more green in hers, but this has got some brown mottles, and it looks almost like kind of a butter color. So yeah. All right. So I got that, and it arrived on Monday, the day before the tariffs were supposed to hit. Monday? Yeah, yesterday. Gosh, a lot's happened. So, I'm gonna put this back in here because it's so beautiful, and I just want to protect it a bit. Okay, all right, so that is all my stuff. So let's see. So I'm going to stop at this point, and then I'm going to restart, because the next segment of the video is going to talk about the Salem Area Stitchers retreat we had this last weekend, and the stuff that I picked up there, which was, all of it was completely unexpected. I did not expect people to bring stuff that they were stashing. I didn't expect for one of our friends to do a table gift for all of us. So anyway, I'm going to stop here and then restart and finish up the video. Hi, this is Robin the Generous Stitcher, and this video is shot a little bit out of sequence with my next Flosstube, which will be in about 10 days or so. But we had a Sunday afternoon, a Sunday all-day meetup with the Salem Area Stitchers today, and one of our people said, hey, we did a retreat, a Saturday retreat, so I got us all table gifts. And so it said, believe in yourself, and it's a little notebook. I know one of the people I was sitting with said, wow, this is exactly what I needed. I have a couple of these, and I know I will eventually use them. So another one of our friends who had shoulder surgery this summer, so she hasn't been meeting with us in person, but she's pretty much all healed. Well, I can't say that. She's really well on her way to recovery with the healing process. You know, she had her surgery. She's out of her sling and the other things that they, I think she only had a sling. Maybe they didn't have anything else. But anyway, she was mentioning that her mom and her aunt had some sewing scissors, and she got these, and they're left-handed fabric scissors. Well, I'm left-handed. I've never used left-handed scissors because my parents in the 60s were like, you know, she's never gonna probably even see left-handed scissors. We certainly don't have a left-handed store, although they knew those things existed in some areas, you know, maybe back east in larger cities. But so they taught me how to do everything with my right hand with regards to scissors. So anyway, these were a special gift from her, and So I'm going to try them out. You know, I got fabric. Excuse me. Yeah, maybe I should have got some water before I started. So this is a short little video though. So that was my friend Lisa, and here's Willow going, hey, what's up? But she might just, I think she's going for the food dish. So unless she decides to move the camera, there it's all jiggly, she might come around in front of the camera. So Lisa always, the last few things we've had, well, maybe not the last couple we've had, but she likes, there's Willow. Yes, you missed. She was like, why can't you zoom today so I can see my stitchy friends in the camera? So, because she likes to watch the cross stitch. So anyway, Lisa had some 25 count Lugana from Zweigart. This is Stormy Night, and it's a mottled gray, like a light gray with some lighter color modeling. And then this is Stormy Clouds, which is a, gosh, in this light, it looks like it's maybe a cream color with some gray modeling. But this light is kind of yellow because I've got the blinds pulled against the afternoon sun, and so it looked more white when I saw it at our retreat today. So I just picked up these two little pieces. They're like 9 by 13. She was saying because the count's so small for a piece of Lugana, 25 count, and so it's going to make a larger design, that she was having a hard time finding things to stitch on them. So I'll give it a try, see what I have that's, you know, a small thing, like maybe a Christmas ornament could go on this. So that would be a small, and then even if it took up a large part of this fabric, it still would be, you know, something that would fit on the fabric. So then Tammy, Woodland Stitching Studio, she has been destashing and decluttering her crafts and her house, and you know, donating some of the furniture, getting new furniture to organize her craft area. And so Lisa, the friend that gave me the fabric, she and I were both like at this box of patterns looking at stuff, and at the end of the box I saw all these little Garon Totet, which are little small bags, and I haven't even looked at them really. Yeah, so they're just a single small bag. I love this because it's cats and it's vibrant colors, and Lisa is a cat person too, and so I basically said, here's two other cats, you know, I'm gonna take this one, okay? And so, and she picked one of the other two were kittens, more traditional designs, and so she picked a kitten one, and I said, well, you could take the second one too if you want, but she just wanted the one. So, but anyway, as she and I are going through the patterns box, I saw Cross Stitch for the Earth, Emma Congdon, and I believe Helen D, East Coast Crafter, did a flip through of this book, and I have really liked the colors in this book. I've liked the patterns, and so oh my goodness. Okay, so I shouldn't be flipping through, but anyway, this is 20 designs, and oh hey, in the front there's all the different designs in the book, and I've seen where was it? There was one I thought somebody, I'd seen someone stitch, but maybe maybe it's in another one of her books. So, yeah. So I've seen, so anyway, so Tammy was stitching a pattern in this book with a friend of hers, and then she really didn't like other things in the book. It wasn't her jam, the things she liked. So I was like, I've wanted this book for a while, and thank you. So, and then she also had things that she had kitted up and started stitching, and the Satsuma Street Funky Chickens was among that, and so she's had all the flosses flossed up here, and I will probably give her back her floss drops. But anyway, so, you know, my great niece loves chickens, and I had picked up a second thing to make for her after this Christmas gift. If she likes it, then I can make another thing for her, and I thought, hey, this would also be something she might like. And then in between all the patterns were a couple just plain project bags. And I've been kitting up a lot of stuff lately. I've been shoving multiple things in one project bag. So I'm like, okay, I have like 23 or, I think I have 23 whips that are in their own project bags. And yeah, oops, sorry, I shouldn't tap the table while I'm filming. So, and I actually started the second bib that I need to finish, that I wanted to start on or by September 1st. It is September 23, or no, sorry, August 23. I'm losing a whole month here. And so I started it today. So anyway, we had a great time. One of our friends in the group brought a chocolate cake for us all to share. Otherwise, we brought our own lunches. And so it was a good, and my Tai Chi got canceled this week, so I was able to get there about 10:15. So I got to spend like the whole time having fun. The only thing I didn't do is they did a round of left, right, center with flosses, and I have been wanting to stitch, and I lost 3 stitch days this week because I've been having some dental problems. So the next time that you see the rest of this film, I will be missing a tooth, and so I hope I can still talk effectively with that tooth missing. It's in the back, so I'm hoping it won't change too much. And then I'm getting some dental work put in to sort of substitute for the tooth I'm losing. So it's been a hard, sort of momentous week in terms of that. And I'm still having some continuing problems, and so that's part of the reason why I lost 3 days of stitching. So anyway, that is curated cross stitch collection, or haul if you prefer. Oh, darn it! One more piece of haul. I'm gonna leave the camera running. Where did I put? I put it right over there. Let me go get it off the table. Gosh, actually, as I'm sitting down, I'm thinking, oh, there's another piece of haul over there, but I'm gonna show it later in a later video because it's floss, and I was gonna, oops. I know people get upset by crinkly. I don't know why. If you can tell me why, if that bugs people, tell me why. I never understand the crinkly thing. Maybe it's just the floss tubers. So this is Roxy Floss Co. It is Temptation, and that's a pretty good representation of the fabric. May look just a tad brighter, but I'm kind of in a dimmer room. So anyway, this is a substitute for Fox and Rabbit Beetroot if you are stitching Cherry Magpie. And you know what? I wasn't going to stitch Cherry Magpie, but Blueberry J, and I have to do Blueberry J. So if I'm going to do Blueberry J, I might as well do Cherry Magpie. Love those designs. Jet X Stitch, Jessica is amazing. And so anyway, just got that like 2 days ago. And so anyway, this video will be spliced into the others, and at the end of the video will be a video of Max and Willow being cats. And I've shown it to a few people and everybody's just laughing because they are being cats and they're playing together, and it's cute and funny. So, all right, so see you in a few minutes, even though it's going to be like 10 days for me. So PNWSS. All right. So, you know, I had this great idea for floss drops, and, you know, I do want to give everyone at PNWSS a small gift, something I can afford. Last year I did a index card with my Flosstube information on it, and I said from Mirrors to Mill Hills, and I put a beading needle and a regular needle side by side. And the needles I got from Etsy they were you know, I got it from somebody in Lithuania, I think. So I mean, these were like bulk discount, you know, nothing fancy. The beading needles, I went to a couple different Etsy sites to get enough. And then I also got I think they were pony beading needles that I got for most people. And then the Salem Area Stitchers, I gave them a wide eye. That's the kind of needle that basically goes like that, and you have like almost the length of the whole needle to stick your thread through, so it's easy to thread the needle. And so I just don't have the time this year to do something that elaborate. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get chocolate. And so I bought some chocolate on sale today that'll be for the Salem Area Stitcher tables, and then I'll get some other kinds of chocolate, probably from Costco in the next week or two. And so I'll have a little something like bag of chocolate to put on each table at PNWSS. And PNWSS is going to be different this year because they got the big ballroom. They're going to have 200 people. This is the largest ever PNWSS. And we're having the Artsy Housewife, Gigi, and Krista from Avalia Folk Embroidery. I have met Krista. She was at last year's open house for Acorns and Threads. And she also is local, and I heard a talk that Gigi and her husband are moving to Portland. So she was regional, Pacific Northwest, and now she's going to be local too. So it'll be fun to meet them. I have Krista's book of patterns, and I have a little, what she calls like a bit kit, which is a very small pattern and has all the stuff to do it, and like a tiny little kit that's not much bigger than that. And I have let's see, I have Beach Rat, and I have the Glenda's Garden. I think those might be the only Artsy Housewife patterns I have. Maybe I have another one. I'm not, it's not coming to mind. The Glenda's Garden and the Beach Rat are actually kitted up. And so when I get some large patterns done, then I can think about starting those. maybe not in 2026, just because I have large things to kind of finish off and get off the plate before I add more large things into the rotation. So Pinwis is September 12th, which is a Friday, and it opens at 10 on Friday, and it's kind of a relaxed, sorry, I seem to jiggle the table there. It's kind of relaxed. You get there, you stake out your table. Last year I was with some Salem Area Stitchers, and the people that I knew the best were like, okay, we're going to the shop to shop. And so they actually go to the shop just about as soon as they get there, because the shop has a special shopping time in the evening on Saturdays. But my friends were like, no, that's too crowded. We want to go like during the day when most people are not at the shop on Friday. So that's their plan, and I think it's probably a good plan. I got some really good fabrics last year. I got some really good fabrics the first year I went to Pinwis, but going earlier rather than later might be better for the fabric. Although I've bought so much fabric in the last year, I don't feel like I need or should buy more. But you know, if there's an Atomic Ranch out there that's a crazy color, I'm gonna buy it. And so I've talked I mentioned in the first part of the video about some dental issues, and I talked a little bit about that in the middle section bleh. And so I had an abscess that started in July, went to the dentist, took some antibiotics. The abscess calmed down a bit, but it did not go away. And so, and I was in pain, so I was grinding my teeth at night, and we think I've probably cracked the roots for that tooth, so it needs to come out, and then we're gonna do a bridge, because dental implants are not made for petite women. I've had an endodontist say that my jaw is 2 millimeters too thin to put a dental implant in. My dentist thinks that we can lift sinuses and remodel the sinuses to do that, but we're not going to do it on Friday. We're going to do a bridge first, and then down the road, when the bridge eventually wears out, then we'll revisit the dental implant. And maybe in 10-15 years they will have ones that fit petite women. You know, when they do medical research, they don't do it on women, and this is just how things happen, is we don't have things that are built for us. So anyway, getting off that, so that's been a very stressful few weeks, trying to figure out what was going on with the abscess, not having the abscess resolve, having, you know, a lot of pain at night, not sleeping well, and then I also had the stress of I had a regular appointment with my primary care today, and there have been a lot of medication changes, managing my diabetes and my high blood pressure over the last 3-4 months, and so I was kind of like, okay, how much is this working? Is this not? Because, you know, I mean, I'm not seeing any differences, but you know, my blood sugar has been going down a lot, and that's, you know, diabetes is one of those things that's kind of silent until it's not, and so I have been testing my blood sugars. They haven't been changing, but apparently they have been changing in the big picture of things. So, and I got on the scale, and it was 10 pounds lower than the last time that I'd been there. So I was like, oh, and the doctors were like, well, you know, that medicine we put you on, it's really potent. It's more potent than the one you were on before. And so maybe we can ease back on some of the other diabetes medications that you take, which would be good. But anyway, so today was sort of like a positive medical appointment that we weren't sure what to expect, and it was kind of a surprise. And in fact, when they handed me a little piece of paper that had my test results on it, and I said, "Are you sure this is me? This patient number, that's me?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, okay, because I haven't had numbers this low in, gosh, 8-9 years maybe. So I was thinking 5, but it's been longer than that. So yeah, so a lot of ups and downs personally. Summer's winding down, so work stress is getting less. And we're all like, okay, are we all burned out? A bunch of us had a meeting today, and we were all like, are we all tired? We're just all tired. And are we all a little burned out? Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm planning like cross stitch retreats, like trying to go to Stitch North next year. And planning, the beach retreat, the Pinwist beach retreat, and getting my slot there. I already had the hotel. I already got my hotel for that, like a couple months ago. Like I was like, I'm going again. I'm gonna call and pick out, go to a different motel than where the event is at, actually, to see if they have better beds, because that bed was too hard for me. So yeah, so anyway, so yeah, a lot of things have been going on behind the scenes, and doing all this finishing stuff. It's like, man, I want to be done with the finishing stuff, because then I can stitch more on Sundays. Because it's like, how many more Sunday finishes but it's only been 2. This will be the 3rd one, and we should be able to finish. We'll definitely finish the Pinwist stuff. There was another piece that I'm working on for Christmas that we were supposed to work on, but we kind of got side railed last weekend with something else. So, but maybe we'll get to it. If not, we'll schedule another time to have a Sunday or a Saturday. Since Acorns has a free stitch schedule that is during the summer from Memorial Day weekend to Labor Day weekend, it's every Saturday is free stitch unless there is a class going on that Saturday. And this year we had a couple of classes planned, but life unfortunately happened to the designers, to 2 different designers that we'd scheduled, and so we had to take a rain check on those designers. And but so I've been trying to go to the shop, and on June I went to the shop, I think more than once a month, but July and August, it's like the Salem Area Stitchers are having Saturday retreats, or I'm going to a finishing class in Bend, and and the other retreat I mentioned last time I did a video was the 1120 Crafters second retreat, which will be in October 25th, and I've already signed up for that, and trying to get some interest of people that might want to drive across the mountains with me to go to the retreat. So let's see. Oh, and then right after the Pinwist, like I say, is September 12th, 13th, and 14th, goes until noon on the 14th. And we have, the ballroom is open late, so we can stitch late. The rooms have awesome lighting, and they also have it's at an Embassy Suites in Washington Square Mall area, and they also have really, really good outlets for charging everything, and different types of outlets. So I love that. I love that hotel for power, keeping my lamps powered. And so then the week after Pinwist is the Harvest Moon Hangout with Lindy Stitches. That's one of her virtual retreats. That's actually going to be 19th 20th and I believe 21st. Yeah, September 19th through the 21st. That also falls on the third Saturday of the month, which will be the first free stitch of the fall, winter, spring season for acorns. And and I'll be stitching at home a couple weekends in September. Yeah, so, and then Jingle Ball, of course. Of course, that's too soon to sign up for that now, but I will be planning to attend. So, oh, and then, so we went through the Salem Area Stitchers, we went through our calendar, and we basically have calendar dates through September through the end of December. And looks like a piece of dirt or something got in there. And then, let's try to, oh, and the Salem Area Stitchers will be having our holiday party on December 13th. And that's always a really good time. And I will play left, right, center again. I just wasn't feeling it this weekend. I was like, I just need to sit and stitch and, you know, chill. So, all right, well, I think that's all. Last year for PNWSS, the Salem Area Stitchers, we all got these Japanese purses, which you can find on Amazon, and this was some bling we got at PNWSS. And so some people use these little purses to put floss drops in, and then they have the pre-cut floss that just kind of lay over, and so they can pull out flosses and stitch. I basically made this into my Notions purse, and I actually put on my PNWSS name tag. You know, you get a little charm for the classes and events you go to. They are magnetic, but I find the magnets don't work, and then you have a magnet somewhere in your clothing, and so I just they came with a binder clip, so I just binder clip it to myself. So there is a kind of a mean girl tradition with acorns and threads and the name tags. It's like they make you this name tag. They are nice. They are cloth. They have your name in like a paint pen, and so, and then you get stuff to sew on to your name tag. This is basically from September of 2023 to April of 2025. That's how much stuff that I've gone to with Acorns and Threads. And it's like Janine at Acorns and Threads sort of created a monster, okay? I went to one retreat in 2023. That was PNWSS in September. And then I went to like 5 retreats in 2024. 2 at Acorns and Threads, and Jingle Ball, and was it 5? Maybe it was 5 last year. I don't know. Maybe it was 3. Maybe it was 3 in 2024. Yeah, because it was like the 2 Acorns retreats and Jingle Ball. Okay, so September 2023, 1 retreat. By the end of September 2024, 3 retreats. This year, like somewhere between 5 and 7 retreats. Okay, I'm kind of addicted. So anyway, the other thing about this little purse, it has little places to stick stuff. Like I say, I made it into a Notions purse that I have my stitching calendar, and I write in what I worked on, which, so write up what I worked on. In the green, it's like stuff that I finished or that I started. And this is a 2-year calendar, so I have, you know, this year and next year's stuff to put in it. And then it's got a little bit of space in the back for some notes. And then I also have, this was part of the haul in 2023 at Acorns and Threads Pinwis. And this is like my, okay, what do I need to get? And, oh, and back here is our order for calzones at Puff Murphy's, which is a take and bake pizza in Oregon. So I've kind of, this is getting thinner because kind of as I finish a page, I tear it out. But then also I had, when I did the nature bib and was using the forest home, so I was looking at this, and I have some thread conversions for DMC from the sub and the specialty. But I was like, wait a minute, the fir tree, what does 40W mean? And I was like trying to think what that was, because I didn't put the colors in, like the green. And so, and I was able to find the green and the brown. Some of it was DMC, but then my friend Riley had their Notion app, and they were like, oh, well, I have all these DMC conversions for specialty threads in my Notion app. So we just went to the Weeks Dye Works color, the green color, and was like, oh, that's this. So I was making more notes on this. But anyway, 40W is, the fir tree was 40 stitches wide. And the bib I used for the nature bib was a lot smaller in width, same height, but a lot smaller in width than the Million of Stitches bibs that I have. So anyway, so yeah, so I was looking at height and width of the stitching because I didn't know what elements when I was first writing out the nature bib and the pattern pieces, like where, you know, what I was going to stitch on it, other than the new mom asked for. Oh, I like nature. Do something with nature. Like, okay, that's pretty broad. So anyway, and I've been sticking the postcard I got from Lindy Stitches that had all of her retreats for this year. I stick that in there. My friend Lisa, the one that likes all the fabric, she made us Teresa Kogut, and this was a 2024 Pinwis table gift for Salem Area Stitchers. Teresa Kogut fabric, a coaster, and I use this all the time because I get my big old Dutch Brothers and then I put the coaster down, plop the Dutch Brothers there, and you know, sip on that the rest of the day. So I have my regular pin. I have a black ink Acorns and Thread pin, which again was some swag from Pinwis, and then I have my green pin, which is what I've been doing starts and finishes on, so I can, like, as I look through my calendar and I need to talk about a start and finish, I know what date they happened on. I have some emery boards, because if you're working with silks, you want your nails not to snag. I have a little ruler because it fits, and sometimes I like to take a ruler and I like to know, okay, if this is going to be this many stitches, is it going to fit on this fabric? What about the border? And I do have a corner gauge, again, Acorns and Threads, that I got, which is I Stitch at Acorns Annex, which is their classroom. And so this is a 3-inch corner gauge, and have used this for starts. Let's see, oh, my instruction manual for my pink charging brick. And then I think Cindy gave us some chapstick. And then Tammy from Woodland Stitching Studio gave me a telescoping magnet. And that saved the day at a retreat, at the beach retreat, for one lady who dropped a needle. And the needle they kind of, as they were shifting around trying to get, the tables had this really big black tablecloth. So they were trying to shift stuff around, look under the table where the needle had fell, and when things got shifted around, the needle actually ended up underneath a box. So here's the needle underneath this box. Well, the magnet found it, whereas flashlights and our eyes were not finding it because it had gone underneath this banker box that was also under the table. So, so I got some hand lotion from a friend. I have some extra needles of, oops, okay, 28, 26, and 22. And I kind of got these before I really knew what these are John James. I really like the 28 gold plated for linen. You know, your habit or preference could be completely different, and that's fine. But I like it because it's not like super petite, because I feel like, you know, I have good manual dexterity, but I really want to have something that's a little less petite. I have my two favorite scrunchies for my hair. Of course, I got my hair cut this summer, so it really doesn't need to be pulled back from my, yeah, my bangs are getting kind of long. Maybe I've just been brushing it back. So I got all sorts of stuff in here, like a little cat magnet needle minder thingy, a little floss drop kind of thing. I've got some things that people have stitched for me, like this little cat that's also a needle minder. I got this from, I will put the Etsy shop up on the screen, Pam and Bob Creations. This was something they were retiring, and it's just like a nice beach scene, and I like the beach. And I have a needle minder that is like Rebel Stitches, I think, or anyway, it's Bigfoot, and there's all sorts of other things that are on it. So, and I have some bling from a sampler class I went to that I haven't put on the name tag because we were given punched paper name tags, and I wanted to finish the project on the punched paper name tag before I stuck the bling from that class on it. Here was another Halloween needle minder that Pam and Bob were retiring from their shop. And and then some, when I went to the 1120 Crafters, I got this little toy frog. So I don't like to frog, I've mentioned that before. And so I got, over the last several years, I've gotten a couple of these. And for the longest time, I was like, what are these for? I finally asked somebody, what are these for? And they're like, well, when you frog, there's little bits of floss, and you can't get them all. And so then I did have to frog. I think I frogged the reproduction sampler silk, the silks that I was doing, and it was one strand over two, and I did use these for that when I had to frog a leaf. So, there's even another little bead that came off something. So, so that's all the stuff that's in my little mesh pouch, and in the Notions purse. So I'm not gonna bore you with putting it all away on video, but that's the stuff that I take with me to stitch. I also at the sampler class that we went to, we were given a little like a little stand that you put your pattern in.